Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Say What's Real TV. And today we will be discussing the long-awaited and highly anticipated Tyler Perry's Zatima. Yes, it's our favorite TV couple, Zach and Fatima, over there streaming on BET Plus with their own spinoff showing out. I know Karen mad. They currently have episodes 1 and 2 available over there. Go check it out. It's a pretty good show so far. I'm loving it. I love them two together. We all do, and we're happy that it's finally available. So we open up the episode, and Fatima and Zach are in her apartment packing up everything because she has now agreed to go and live in his house with him. She's a little skeptical because she feels like they're moving a little too fast, which, yeah, they are a little bit, but you know, Zach kind of reassures her, you know, that hell, if they feeling the way they feeling about each other, it shouldn't really even matter. Which, okay, you got a little point, but at the same time, Zach got too much going on. He got too many hoes running around there talking about they pregnant and won't leave him alone, and it's just too much. So, So Zach asked Fatima, was she gonna sell her place? And she was like, about that, I plan on renting it out, you know, kind of make a little money on the side. And he had like he wanted to catch a little attitude about it, saying that, oh, you don't think our relationship gonna work. Zach, listen, it has nothing to do with that. You have a lot going on, sir. So I don't blame Fatima. I personally would have kept my shit too. Because the minute you try me with all them little raggedy hoes you got running around, I still got my spot. Now, when we get married, that'll be a totally different thing. I will sell it then. But no, sir, I'm going to keep my spot. So Zach reassures her and tells her she's just nervous and, you know, they'll be fine or whatever. And just vision them having little Zach and Fatima's running around. And Fatima was like, oh, I ain't ready for all that just yet. And she's like, I gotta get that ring first. I said, I know that's right, girl. And he asked her what was she doing later on. She was like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with my homegirls. He talks about what girls? The ones I ain't never met yet. And she was like, I ain't met your homeboys either. So it was like, well, we can make that happen. So Fatima gets to the club where her girls are. We finally see Belinda and Angela, two of her friends. She greets them and they like, girl, don't be speaking to us coming in here like that, skinning and grinning. We ain't seen your ass in motherfucking weeks. Where you been? They tell Fatima it's good to see her, even though she's been a shitty ass friend. So Angela asks Fatima, when are they gonna meet Zach? And is it serious? And she was like, yeah, it's like moving in type serious. They was like, damn, girl, you ain't never did that? She was like, yeah, I know, right? So that lets you know that's part of her apprehension to wanting to move in as well. She's never done that before. In addition to probably because of all them hoes that got running around chasing after his ass. So she goes to tell them a little bit about their history and how they met and all of that. And they were like, well, when can we get to meet him so we can put our stamp of approval on him and be the judge of whatever? She was like, well, maybe I can invite you guys to dinner. So then Belinda throws Angela under the bus and say, well, maybe Angela can bring her new boo. And Fatima was like, God damn, I have been missing. Like, when you got a new boo? So Angela tells them she wants their honest opinion of her new boo, but she wanted to make sure that they knew that her new boo was not black. We head over to the basketball court where Zach is with his friends playing ball. They get the chit-chatting and talking about where he's been and this and that. One of the guys, Bryce, he throws Zach under the bus telling that he has a girl and this and that. And Zach is like, stop telling all my goddamn business. We find out that Bryce, he mentions that he has found him a new girl and that she is black. So we could already assume where they're going to go with that. Then the other two guys, one named Nate, I don't know what the other guy's name was. They're both going on and on of how the guys need to stay single and they're going to regret trying to move women into their homes and potentially getting married. They don't want to keep losing all their friends. And These two fools going on and on and on. Mind you, Nate ass is married. He talking all this cash shit, and his wife walks up on him and clowns his ass in front of the guys and tell him to get his ass on and let's go. The kids in the car waiting. She been home all day and he out here playing fucking basketball and he losing money. She like, bring your ass on. So Fatima comes home from hanging out with the girls and Zach sitting up. I guess he was waiting on her. I don't know. She walks in and he's like, God damn. Trying to let her know she looking good. So she sits down. He asks her, how was her night out with the girls? And she was like, oh, it was good. You know, the girls can't wait to meet you. He's like, oh, I'm sure they can't. So she said, well, how was it with the guys? And he gonna tell a goddamn lie hollering out, they can't wait to meet you as well. Like, Zach, you know damn well you lying. Them boys was too busy clowning, talk about don't let your ass move in. So Fatima asked Zach, was he tired? And he was like, no, why? She was like, oh, because you made me a promise. And he said, oh, you don't have to tell me twice. So he picks her ass up. He takes her up the steps. Next thing we know, Zach has his face all the way up in the motherfucking place. Shout out to It's Rocks. Baby, when I tell you, he was giving out that good. You hear me? Fatima was in heaven. Pure heaven. So he finishes up, wiping his mouth, licking his fingers. I said, oh my God. Ooh. So she was like, oh, so that's how you feel? Letting you know that shit was so good. He was like, yeah, that's how I feel. She gonna tell him something, I love you. I said, oh, he got you, girl. So Zach told Fatima he wished that she knew how much he loved her, and she said, I have a pretty good idea. And, you know, he looking at her all dreamy and like he's really in love with her. And she's like, oh, I got you. And like, I mean, I think y'all kind of got each other. But yeah, she tells him he's going to take a shower. She's going to take a shower. He's like, no, stay with me. She was like, what you mean stay with you? Like, normally, you know, she's surprised he didn't say what guys normally say and this and that and the other. I'm like, girl, don't start that. Enjoy the moment. So Fatima says, by the way, I'm going to the pole tomorrow. He's like, what? He said, yeah. She said, yeah. Don't act like you don't know what the pole is. All up in VIP, hunching all up on their strippers. Zach told so, who the hell says hunching? That's some country shit. I said, well, I'll be damn. I guess I'm country as fuck because that's my motherfucking word. I always say hunching. Fatima says she's going to go to the strip club to talk to the baby mother to have her come to the house so she can do a DNA test. And Zach was like, I don't give a damn. The kid ain't mine, no way. But he says, well, how are you going to convince her to come? And Fatima like, I got my ways. So it's the next morning and Zach is outside polishing up his car, doing something, wiping it down. Fatima comes out dressed for work. She's like, where's my car at? And he's like, it's over there. And she looking around like, I don't see it. And come to find out, Zach done bought this girl a new car. It's real nice. Fatima's like, Zach, you need to kind of hold up with your money. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, basically, you know, I want to do nice things for you, you know? You know, it was real nice. I like that. But at the same time, that's kind of like a little foreshadowing, I think. But Fatima was telling him something good, but that is the thought that counts. You know, Zach has really changed. You know, if Karen find out about this car, she gonna be hotter than fish grease. So Fatima is happy with her new car, and Zach is happy that she's happy, and they're in love, and they kissy, and they're gonna go for a nice little ride when she gets off. So he sends her off, and he dancing in the damn street like Martin, talking some, who's the man? I'm the man. And then we see this car pull up, and it's one of his friends. So it's Bryce coming to tell Zach that he just got a tip from work that someone from the SEC is coming to talk to him, and he wants him to know that he should not panic and to remember everything that they went over with all of the stock information that he provided to him. And Zach is like, I'm not trying to go back to jail, man. He acting all nervous, and Bryce is like, you won't. Everything will be cool. Just stay cool and remember what we talked about. Okay, so on this particular part is where I'm confused with Bryce's character, because in Sisters, I've never seen Bryce before. He was working with, I think the little guy name was Jake. I don't know, but this is not the same person, and that's not the same name that the other character had. But he's basically coaching him the same way the other guy was. So did they switch out characters or what? Because that's the main thing that kind of confused me with these episodes. Just the Bryce character. So Fatima makes it inside of the strip club. The bouncer guy gets her to the back. One of the little strippers is like, oh, hell no, you not dancing up in here. Fatima like, I'm not here to dance. I'm here to see her. So she goes over there to the baby mother, and she was like, yes, I need you to come to my house tomorrow at 6 o'clock so you can do this DNA test. She like, oh, I'm not lying. Basically saying this is Zach's baby. I'm not lying. Fatima like, nobody said you was lying, but hell, the DNA ain't gonna hurt, right? She like, I ain't doing shit till I get my motherfucking money. Talking about all this big Willie talk, got the other strippers in the room, putting the battery in her back, and she ha and all of that. Fatima like, look here, I'm trying to be nice to your ass. So she's still talking all this shit, hollering about, oh, you better ask the streets about me before you know it. Fatima had a damn fistful of hair and bammed her motherfucking face in the wall. She gonna grab the back of her neck, holler about, bitch, you crazy. Fatima said, you have no idea. I see her ass was complying then. I bet she show up at 6 a damn clock the next day. So it's later on in the day, and Fatima and Zach are getting ready for their dinner party with their friends. And Fatima's kind of nervous. She's setting the place up. And Zach is like, why you all nervous? And how are you going to act when I meet your family? She's like, oh, I don't even want to talk about that. So Zach brings up his family and says that he has never heard from them for a long time until he came into this money. And now they calling him every day, all day. I like that they're bringing up each other's families, because then we get more of a backstory from each of these characters on this particular spinoff, and I think I'm liking that. So Zach and Fatima, they have a seat, and he lets her know that Bryce told him that the SEC will be speaking to him the next day. And she's like, well, how do you feel? Well, first she gets upset because, you know, she don't like Bryce, which I thought it was the other guy. But anyway, we're going to just say it's supposed to be the same character. But she says she doesn't like Bryce because she doesn't trust Bryce. And Zach said he's a good guy. He coached him up on everything. And, you know, it is what it is. And she was like, well, how do you feel about all this going on with that? And he said, I'm kind of feeling like, honestly, that I shouldn't have never done it. Fatima tells him that had he not gotten that stock tip, then he would still be in baggage claim and still been broke. Zach is like, he just don't want to go back to jail. And Fatima's like, well, we're not going to worry about it, you know. Zach gets a little upset. He like, oh, so you just want to worry about your friends or whatever. Don't worry about me going to jail. Just worry about your friends. And, you know, she's like, we're just going to think positive. We're going to calm down, and we're just going to think positive that things are going to be all right. Then they get a knock on the door. So they open the door, and it's Angela. And with Angela is her new boo. And the new boo just happens to be Bryce, which we kind of figured that anyway. But Fatima is like, wow. So Angela and Fatima talk about how she knows Bryce and how they don't like Gary. And, you know, if you like it, I love it. If you want Bryce, girl, that's fine. You know, it just takes me a little minute to warm up to people. She don't like no Bryce. So then you got Zach over there talking to Bryce. Bryce just kind of throws off the vibe. I don't know if he seems nervous, stiff. I don't know what it is, but he just kind of throws the vibe off every time he brings up this damn stock shit. Like, what is wrong? Like, he stiffens up and He acting more nervous than damn Zach. Like, what is the problem? And damn, put the wine bottle down. They're sitting there having a little toast with the wine, and Zach and Fatima kissing, hollering about they love each other. So Bryce says, I hear wedding bells. Zach says, slow down, slow down. Fatima gave him that goddamn death stare like, what the fuck? Like, what you trying to say? We get a knock at the door. Zach goes over there to let the person in. When he opens the door, he sees that it's Belinda. He quickly shuts the door like, oh my God, oh. So Belinda knocks again, knocking. Fatima like, Zach, what the hell are you doing? So he goes and opens the door back up. And Belinda comes in like, oh, hell no, hell no. Is this who the hell you been talking about all this time? Is this the guy you messing with? And Fatima is like, yeah, that it is. Like, what's up? What's the problem? You know him? Y'all know each other? What's up? She said, yeah, I do. She said, well, how y'all know each other? Belinda was like, we fucked. And Zach sitting over there looking stupid as fuck, hollering about, fuck. So Fatima says, what did you just say? And Bryce gonna start getting on my nerves. Bryce gonna repeat the shit and say, oh, they fucked. And Zach is like, why would you repeat that? Like, shut up. And she going on and on. Belinda going on and on like, this raggedy ass nigga you mess with. And she just going off talking all down to Zach or whatever. I'm like, girl, first of all, calm down. So Angela suggests that all the ladies go outside to have a talk. So Belinda was like, oh, yes. And she grabs a wine bottle, hollering about, yes, because this getting real ghetto. Girl, you the one brought the ghetto in the house. You brought the ghetto, girl. So they go outside and Fatima is like, so Belinda, what happened? What, tell me. And she stalling and shit. Oh, you don't want to know. Maybe he should tell you. Girl. And Fatima like, you ready to tell everything any other time. Let's go talk. So she made it seem like this man truly dogged her out. I thought maybe he did something just so traumatic to where it would be unforgivable. This girl says that she came in through the airport. Now, we all know that Zach worked at the airport. They met up at the airport, ended up hooking up, had sex one time, and he didn't fuck with her ass no more. So she hooping and hollering all around the house because you had a one-night stand, basically, and you fell in love with the D, and you couldn't take no more, so he got to be a ragged-ass nigga. You don't know him. Maybe he was raggedy. Because we learned at the time he was messing with Karen. He was in a relationship with Karen. But apparently you already knew that because you was mad because he didn't want to call your motherfucking ass back. So how you know what Karen work is beyond me. She says that she went to Karen's shop. I don't know if she confronted Karen. Did they ever talk? Did Karen ever know about the two of them? I don't know. But the crazy fucked up part is Karen's still playing in her damn head as we speak as of today. She's still going to get her hair done by Karen. Why is that, Belinda? Why is that? I think that's weird. I think that's really weird. And I feel like Belinda is going to be a problem. And I really wouldn't even trust Belinda around my man. Because you had to really be into Zach to have done all of that. That is real crazy. So the ladies all come back in the house and Zach looking all nervous and scared. He worrying about what Fatima thinking and what she getting ready to say. And he keep asking her, you good? You good? And she like, she ain't gonna say nothing. I'm good, playing that shit off. She said, he asked, so is Belinda good? But we don't give a damn if Belinda is good. We really don't. So Angela's like, okay, y'all, let's come and eat. So they all sit down to the table. And Angela's sitting up there talking about how her and Bryce met. And Zach sitting up there giving Belinda the evil eye, shooting her ass a bird. Anybody that's willing to come between what Zach and Fatima trying to do, I'm going to have a problem with. So this girl wants to talk at the table and bring the whole shit up. So Zach tells his side of the story. He says that him and Karen had broken up at this point in time when he hooked up with her. So technically, he didn't really cheat on Karen, quote unquote. But, you know, it is what it is. But then now she's like, oh, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I feel like, Fatima, you're too good for him. Like, why would you say that? Like, why are you even there? You should just leave. You shouldn't even stayed there. You should have never went, really. I mean, you didn't take a mate, and you should have felt like a third wheel. Like, I think, I just felt like she handled the whole situation wrong. And I wish Fatima would have said something to her. I don't know. I just felt like it should have been handled differently. Plus, you guys are in this man's house. He had a right to be upset. And you can't just come in somebody's house and just be talking to him any kind of way. He don't even, well, he do know her, but not like that. She made it seem like they was in this full-fledged relationship, and that boy don't even know you like that. So Zach gets up from the table and he leaves, and Bryce follows behind him. Fatima is left in an awkward situation sitting at the table with her friends, and Belinda starts apologizing and saying she didn't mean it for anything to happen like that, which I find that hard to believe because, girl, you was drinking and going on and on and on about it. Like, whatever. So Angela, at least she got some kind of goddamn sense. She tells Belinda that you was ghosted and we know how you can get. So that means her ass done been ghosted before. And she says that maybe Zach has changed. At least given the benefit of the doubt. I mean, that was 2 years ago. And here go Fatima. I hope so. Like, girl, don't let this girl put no doubt in your head about what's going on with you and your man. Whatever you and Zach was doing before, you need to continue to do. Yes, it is an awkward situation, and just knowing that your man had sex with your best friend, that would just throw me all off. That would just throw me off. They show Zach walking down the sidewalk all fast, walking like George Jefferson. And then Bryce come running up behind him to try to stop him. So Zach comes back in after taking his little long walk. Fatima in there lotioning up her legs and stuff, getting ready to go to bed. So she gonna tell Zach, oh, I left you some dessert. Did you see it? He like, yeah, I saw it. She told him, did you eat it? He said, no. She told him, why not? He said, I didn't have much of an appetite. She said, why not? He gonna look at her like, girl, you gotta ask me that? Like, I ain't in the mood for that shit. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have no appetite either. So Zach asked Fatima, was she mad? So she was like, no, why should I be? She's like, me and Belinda are best friends. We tell each other everything. I remember when she told me she met this guy at the airport that blew her mind. Now, see, this is where Zach messed up for me. He gonna say, oh, yeah, I did blow her mind. See, that's the shit right there that get you fucked up. That shit, that kind of shit right there. So she slap him in the back of the head or whatever. So these two go back and forth. She asking Zach how many more women she gonna have to deal with. He's like, a lot. She like, well, what's a lot? Like, she's like, he like, what I'm supposed to tell you, a number from the time I was having sex since I was 15? She's like, yes. He like, man, I'm not gonna do this with you tonight. So they going back and forth. She like 10, 75. And so he turned the tables on her, like, well, how many men you slept with? So he was like 10, 75, 200. She was like, oh, now you're tripping. He was like, oh, so it was fine when I said 75. You was all right with 75, but 200 was too much. So it's the next morning and Fatima getting ready for work. So she trying to tiptoe all around the room and trying to ease out. So Zach wakes up and say, oh, so you trying to sneak out? She like, oh, I didn't want to wake you. Zach like, oh, you petty ass. He said, well, you ain't had no problem with that loud ass blow dryer. And Fatima said, well, I can always call Karen and have her do it. So Zach ends up talking to Bryce, and Bryce tells him that, did you get a phone call from somebody? And Zach was like, yeah, from some unknown number. Bryce tells him to call the number back. He'll be talking to Gretchen. Gretchen normally ruins lives. She's a hardball. So Zach calls the number back. It's Gretchen. Gretchen says, I'm from the SEC. Zach playing it off, hollering about, oh, do you know what this about? Gretchen ain't had time for the bullshit. She said, I know you know what the shit about, and I'll be to your house at noon, and hung up in his damn face. So now all of a sudden, Zach calls Bryce back to tell him that he's going to meet Gretchen at noon and to make sure he's still coming. So now all of a sudden, Bryce changes his mind and says, if you don't want her to think you're hiding something, as if he shows up, she's going to think something. So they're trying to make it like something is up with Bryce. So you just have to watch his ass. Fatima is on her way to work and Angela calls her and tells her that Angela feels real bad about how she acted and that maybe she should give her a call. Fatima was like, well, maybe I'll go and stop by and see her. It is on my way to work. I'd be damned if I go see your ass and I gotta go to work. No, ma'am. I'll talk to her at a later time. But then Angela asked her how did she feel about Bryce, and she said, I had him all wrong. I like him. And, Angela was happy to hear that. But I do think Bryce probably going to end up being sketchy, but we'll see. Fatima goes over to Belinda's house. They sit down. They have a conversation, a mature conversation. Fatima asked her, did she mean all the things she said about Zach? And Belinda was like, no, she just was mad that he ghosted her. And Belinda wanted to know, does Zach really make her happy? And she told her, yes, he does. She also said that after all you've been through, I just want you to be happy this time. So it would be interesting to hear about Fatima's past relationships, or have one of her little flings pop up the way Karen and all these other people be popping up on Zach. Because every time you turn around, Zach always getting the negative shit happening to him. It's time for other people's shit to be popping up on their ass. So Zach is in there waiting on Gretchen to come in these tight-ass plaid pants. She finally gets there, knocks on the door. He opens the door. She comes in all hard and stern. She have a seat. He asks her, do she want something to drink? Everything is no, no, no. So she's questioning him about the stock information. He's going through all the shit that him and Bryce came up with, trying to sound like he know what the hell he talking about. We know damn well he don't know what he talking about. Gretchen know he don't know what he talking about, so she playing the game. She listening to all that bullshit and let him talk for damn near probably 20 minutes. Next thing we know, Gretchen say, well, are you ready to tell me the truth or not? Are you sure this lady in this picture, which was the senator's wife, wasn't the one that gave you the tip? And basically was like, because I can let the FBI come in the other door. And so the episode goes off. So basically, these were the first 2 episodes of the new show. They were both good. I'm loving it so far. You guys tell me how you feel about the episodes. Basically, I would like to know, how would any one of you handle the situation with Belinda, Zatima, and Zach? That's going to be an interesting conversation and debate. Get down in those comments if you want. Let's talk about it. And, we'll see what goes on next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Peace.